Nothing beats a good beer.
Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink and then we'll drink some more.
What's up, people? Welcome to SID EFFECT. First off, again, I would like to thank every single one of you who liked and shared my previous video. It really means a lot to me. And this week, let's just jump into the video now. Now, have you ever seen a character in a television show go from quirky and funny to totally obnoxious and intolerable by the end of the show?
Looking good, jealous. We know.
Well, it's not as uncommon as you might think. And today, let's talk about Flanderization and how you might be stuck in your problems because of it. Flanderization actually got famous because of a character on The Simpsons show, Ned Flanders. At the beginning of this show, he was just another perfectly annoying character. But towards the end of it, he just became a religious fanatic. As the show went on, the writers got stuck with what to do with him and just gave people what they wanted. More craziness with the character.
Harry Potter and all his wizard friends went straight to hell for practicing witchcraft.
But he wasn't the only character who this has happened to. Even before The Simpsons, in shows like Happy Days or MASH, and in Indian shows like Office and even Khichdi. This is a common problem with a lot of shows that actually go on longer than what the writers expected it to be. All of these shows started with actually well-written characters, but as they kept going on, these characters became just a caricature of the funny traits they had in the beginning. And these aren't the only shows which go through this problem. A lot of the long-running shows have at least one or two characters which go through this process. Doctor Who, House MD, Arrested Development, Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, and Friends, in which almost every lead character goes through this.
I know!
Except for Rachel. She actually goes through an opposite process. We'll talk later in an episode. But the one character that I'm going to be talking about today, who I think got the worst of this trait, was Kevin Malone from The Office.
Slow moving, inattentive, dull, constantly snacking.
Now, if you've been a fan of The Office, you definitely loved watching Holly think that Kevin was actually mentally challenged.
He is mentally challenged.
Wait, back up. Do you think that I'm retarded?
But he wasn't this dumb when the show started. As stated by actor Brian Baumgartner in an interview, Kevin was just supposed to be unremarkable.
The character description for Kevin was, the only thing remarkable about Kevin is that he is remarkably unremarkable.
But he was still human. He was just another accountant, written as a foil for the By the Line Oscar and mildly uptight Angela. He had a fiancée and a few moments which actually show him being pretty smart.
I won the 2002 $2,500 no-limit deuce to 7 draw tournament at the World Series of Poker in Vegas.
And after his breakup, he had a good episode which really made him feel human and relatable.
After Stacy left, things did not go well for a while. And it was hard to see.
But after that episode, his character just went downhill. He kept getting dumber and dumber as each episode passed, and people started thinking, how did he actually get that accountant's post?
A credit card. It'll shred. Oh.
Now some of it can be chalked up to the exit of Steve Carell and all the visual gags falling on the way of Kevin.
When Steve Carell left a couple of years ago, and the writers sort of had this pathetically dumb idea, which was normally some big sort of physical comedy thing. It was they sort of gave it to Kevin after that.
But his character had bigger problems. A lot of the melancholy and balance with which he was written started going away, and an inner childlike character started coming out. Now the actor actually came up with a pretty smart explanation for it. But then again, I can chalk it up to him being a theatre person, and people from theatre are pretty good at making shit up.
Kevin was very, very nervous of the cameras being there. And as the cameras were there longer and longer, his childlike personality and unique charm was able to come out just a little bit more.
But this trope isn't actually bad for TV. This really adds to the rewatchability of the show. as you don't need any other context every time you watch the show in finding Kevin funny, doing dumb stuff. And for the diehard fans, there's always going to be the conspiracy theories about Kevin being actually a very smart guy and planning something behind the scenes.
I had Martin explain to me 3 times what he got arrested for because it sounds an awful lot like what I do here every day.
But in the end, it works for television because it's fun seeing these characters stuck in their ways and making the same mistakes again and again and again. But you, my friend, are not on a television show. You're a real human and you can change. Now I understand it feels good when you stand out in the room, when you're funny, you're quirky, you're weird, and everyone likes you for it. And it's totally fine, as long as you're not hurting your own life because of it. I also agree that body aesthetics and social image are a personal preference. But if you think that you're obese, or there's something wrong with your body and you should change it, then you should. It's not gonna change who you are. Appearance doesn't make who you are. You will still be the same person you were before, just healthier. As usual, I've provided a few links in the description which might be helpful for people who think that they're obese and who find it really difficult to lose weight. I know it's a difficult process, and if you want to go through it, I'm here with you. And again, who you are should not and is not defined by how you look. I personally chose to be healthier because I just have too many things I want to do in my life, and I want to live long enough to do every single one of them.
No shit, Sherlock!
Now guys, I'm sorry if the audio sounds a little more echoey and the background's different. I hope you still like it. I'm in between moving places and it's gonna be a little wonky. The schedule might be off by a few days in the coming few weeks. But please do keep watching my channel. It really means a lot to me. Please do share, like, subscribe, everything. You know what to do. And in the end, just from the bottom of my heart, it really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And with that said, I think you've had enough of me for a day. Please do tell me if you like the new setup more, and be nice to each other. Sit out. Bow, 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 bow.